All right, Most High in Christ, Most High in Christ. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Bobbity, bobbity. All right. Just send me the joint, all right, when you're ready, all right? All right, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakathem, Yahweh Shamar, Alfam Bashem Yahushua. Priest and Officer 5,000 Yadai. This Thursday night history class. Let me tell you something, man. Title of the class tonight is The Hypocrisy of Thanksgiving. Let me explain something to every Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman out there. Only slaves and slave masters celebrate Thanksgiving. So you have to ask yourself, if you're Black or Latino, which are you? You're not the slave master because you're not the oppressor. So are you the slave? You're not supposed to be celebrating Thanksgiving, man. How can you sit up here and plead for the liberation of Palestine, that you can look over there and see what's going on with them and the wrong that's being done to them, right? But then you celebrate the mass genocide of your brother and your sister over here. Right. That's hypocrisy, Ashtawa. That's hypocrisy on the highest level. Because what happened to the North and Seminole Indian, man, was an atrocity, to where the climate changed on how many of our Native Indian and Seminole Indian brothers and sisters were, you know what I mean, unalived. And that's a good thing. I'm glad you're not celebrating Thanksgiving. That's a good thing, man. You're not supposed to celebrate that. And you're a wicked bastard if you do celebrate it. That's good, man. I'm looking in the comments, they saying they're not celebrating. That's a beautiful thing, man. Because understand something. A lot of our people do. And our God does not want us to celebrate that, man. You got to understand, man. You know how many men, women, and babies were unalived? And you know what they try to change it to now? They try to change it to Indigenous Day. They try to change it to Indigenous Day, Ashtawa. Like they try to change the meaning. They try to make it seem like it ain't what it was. It's about the celebration. This is not a day of celebration. It's not. It's not. Seminole Indian and First Nation men, women, and babies were unalived, brutalized, oppressed to this very day on concentration camps that you call reservations. And guess what? Give me Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Where is the apology for that? Where is the accountability for it? Where is it? Where is the accountability for the 99 million of the North American Indians and Seminole Indians that were unalived? Where's the accountability? There isn't none. But you know what you do get together and do? You get together and you keep on that tradition. A tradition rooted in white supremacy, to where if you're not an oppressor or Caucasian, you have no business celebrating Thanksgiving. Begs to differ. Which are you? Are you the slave master or are you the slave? Because there is no accountability, Ashtawak. Do you see how many? And if you go, listen, Ashtawak, let me tell you something. If you've ever been to a reservation, go to a Seminole Indian reservation, go to a Native American Indian reservation, it'll make you cry. They're modern day concentration camps. And you getting together, trying to plead, try to, you know what I mean, make an excuse. Well, it's a day that we use to observe family and brotherhood and sisterhood. That's nonsense. Because you could get together, right, on any other day. Any other day you can get together and celebrate family. Why do you have to get together and celebrate family on the day the slave master does? Don't you see the hypocrisy behind that? Don't you see the wickedness? You see how everybody is standing up for Palestine? No one wants to stand up for the North American Indian. No one wants to stand up for the Seminole Indian. And black man and woman, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because did we not invent cancel culture? Did we not? We invented cancel culture. Why can't you cancel Thanksgiving? Why can't you cancel turkey and cranberry sauce and mac and cheese on that day? Why? Begs the question. Are you the slave or the slave master? The slave master is the oppressor, who's the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're going to go into that as well. But give me Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. I'm asking, where's the accountability? Where's the accountability? Where are those that are going to stand up in America and say, hey, this was wrong? No one does that. They justify it. They have a parade in every major city. Don't they not, Isupk? They had one this morning. They had the Thanksgiving parade every morning of the second to last Thursday of November. They still celebrate it. There is no accountability for it. And doesn't God love the Native American Indians? Doesn't God love the Seminole Indians? He does. Where's the accountability? Give me Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5, Bubba Kishore.
The book of Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. They hold themselves not guilty for the 99 million of the Native American Indians, over the 99 million of the Seminole Indians. You can forget about the Mexicans. You can forget about that, who are still oppressed to this very day, put on modern day concentration camps, who you call illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, when the oppressor is the illegal alien. That's the problem. And then we're going to go into the history tonight, Isupk, because they don't want to talk about it. It's not being taught in school. They're trying to make it seem like that it was this dinner that happened, that it was peace and prosperity when the Pilgrims came over. We wasn't supposed to trust the Pilgrims.
That's right.
We had no business trusting the oppressor on any grounds and on any level. The Lord said,
whose possessors slay them.
Whose possessors slay them. They slayed, unalived our brothers and sisters, man. Unalived them. Are you aware, TikTok, that they unalived so many of the First Nation and Seminole Indians that the climate changed? They damn near eradicated the bison or the buffalo that's over here in North America, damn near to extinction. And then try to tell us, oh, they just had a happy-go dinner to where they exchanged information. Let me tell you the true story of what happened. The oppressor, conquistador, you know what I mean, Cortez and Amerigo, and who America was named after, Amerigo Vespucci, and Columbus and them boys came over here under the God, you know what I mean? And let me tell you, when I say under the God, under a false veil, to where our brothers and sisters of the Seminole Indians and First Nation were so accommodating, so peaceful, so merciful, taught them the principles of agriculture, taught them how to, you know what I mean, live on the land, to hunt for the food. You know what they did? I'll tell you. They gave them smallpox, induced in their blankets, in their pillows. They unalived them, did obscene things to the women and the children and even the men. And guess what? They celebrated to this very day. And they taught us how to celebrate it. You can't do that. You can't stand up for somebody else's trauma. And I get it. I get it. You see what's going on over there with Israel and Gaza, and you're like, that's wrong. That needs to stop. I'm going to tell you what needs to stop. Thanksgiving needs to stop. This is not a day of celebration. It is not a day of admiration. This is a national day of mourning because life was lost. The North American Indians' life was lost. The Seminole Indians' life was lost. and no one mourns with them except for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohanna. The rest of you make excuses. The rest of you make excuses to get together with family that you don't even like, to get together, you know what I mean, under the false flag of, oh, it's coming together with family. You can't do that on any other day. You need the oppressor to tell you. And let me tell you something. I'm not your bro. Understand that. La Raza are my brothers. That Seminole Indian and Native American Indian, that Black man and woman, that First Nation man and woman, that Haitian and Dominican and Puerto Rican and Cuban, those are my brothers. My brothers is niggas. The oppressor is not my brother. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. If you're an oppressor, if you're a colonizer, if you're the slave master, you can celebrate Thanksgiving. We can't. We cannot. And guess what? Abraham did. Because Abraham was a hardcore Black man. And Moses was a hardcore Black man too, of the tribe of Levi. But understand something. And I'm going to go into that as well. And I'm going to show the hypocrisy of the oppressor and how evil you are. Isupk, get me Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Because this is the problem with our people. You sit up here and you make excuses. You make it seem like, well, I understand and know the history, but it's not about that. We have to move on. We have to move on. I tell you. Imagine telling the so-called Jew to move on from the Holocaust. Could you imagine? Go out there and tell any oppressor to move on from 9/11. Right. Tell the Palestinian to move on from the Israelis dropping bombs on them. How dare you say, oh, we got to move on? You can't do that. And here's the thing. Looking by your flag, my brother, it looks like you're from Guatemala, if I'm not mistaken, which means you would be from the tribe of Zebulon. You know what I mean? Through history and archaeology, and I'm going to give you something too. There is more archaeology to support, you know what I mean, Latinos being Israelites, because when they came over here, when Cortez and Columbus and them boys came over here, they had Hebrew interpreters. The Taino Indians, you know what I mean, the Mexicans, and the Native American and Seminole Indians spoke Hebrew. If you look at a lot of their garments, they have the border of blue. They rock the fringes. They rock the shield of David. We family, man. The Bible was only for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. In other words, my brother, nosotros somos familia una raza. And Black is also a condition, meaning if you're a Latino, you're a Native American, or you're a Negro, you're Black. That's the condition that we're in right now. That's also your Honduras, El Salvador. Now, it's about who your father's from. Now, Honduras, El Salvador, you're from the tribe of Zebulon. The tribe of Zebulon. And guess what, brother? Man, you got the same mom and dad. Our father, you know what I mean, Israel, whose name was changed to Israel from Jacob. And you know what I mean? And Leah, you know, Leah was our mother. Now, all 12 tribes come from Jacob, but Leah gave birth to 6, you know what I mean, sons herself. And Zebulon was one of them, and so was Judah. So we brothers for real. Not saying the other ones ain't brothers, they are, because we are the 12 tribes from Judah down to I.S.U.K. But you a brother. And let me tell you something, and let me tell you how you can sympathize with that, and you'll understand something. Not to get too far off topic, to show you the hypocrisy, right? You see the attention that Palestine is getting. You see the attention, you know what I mean, that Israel is getting, that the Ukraine gets. How they let those immigrants that come from, you know what I mean, the Ukraine, Palestine, and Israel, they can come over here and walk over the Mexican border when 10 Guatemalans can't do it. 10 Mexicans can't do it. 10 Haitians can't do it. They lock our brothers and sisters up in concentration camps. And guess what? And they hold themselves not guilty. The sons of Israel, the Black, Latino, Native American Indian, you try to come over, they put you in a cell. An open cell, sleeping on concrete floors with nothing but foil to cover yourself with, while they let 500,000 Ukrainians walk through, while they let over 10,000 Arabs fly through. Last time Arabs was in planes, 9/11 happened. Now imagine if we got together, right, Isupk, and we sat a feast, and we had a feast day, and we had a nice spread of chicken, turkey, all the good stuff on 9/11. Oh, Isupk, they be on TikTok saying I'm the most evil nigga on the earth. If we had a celebration on every September 11th and was eating and drinking, we'd be evil. Don't that make you evil for what you do on Thanksgiving? On this day, November 23rd? It's not theology, it's history. Are you denying about what happened to the Native American and Seminole Indian? Are you denying it? Because that's history. And it also goes to show you, I'm glad he made that comment. You see how they try to spin it, Isupk? That's why what we read in Zechariah 11 and verse 5 is so heavy. It says, whose possessors slay them. They slay us, man. They unalive the Mexican, the Guatemalan, the Haitian, the Puerto Rican, the Cuban, the Negro, the Native American Indian, Seminole Indian, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Hold themselves not guilty. It's what they do. It's what they do. Now, could you imagine? And I seen that comment, and that's another tactic you'll say, but turkey is good. No, it's not, brother. I'm not saying turkey ain't good, but do you eat turkey all year long? No. You're not out here just buying turkey or just buying a turkey and putting it in the baster and putting it in the oven. You ain't out there doing it. You might get a turkey sandwich, a turkey hoagie, you know what I mean, every other week or two. You might do that. That's the most. You're not going out there and getting turkey and cranberry sauce and doing that spread all year long. You do that because the slaves and the slave masters do that. My question to you, my brother, is which are you? Answer that. Since it's so good. You got the precept I asked for, Isupk?
Colonel Khan, and if I could, I'll pull
Go ahead.
real quick for the brother that asked.
Yeah, go ahead.
About Latinos, basically, if they're not black out of Israel.
Yeah.
He's saying Hebrews. It's Hosea 7:8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim had mixed himself among the people. Now, you'll probably also, if you need, if he asks for it, you can get the precept. I think it's in Ezekiel where it said Israel was like a speckled bird, or it might be here. You know what I mean? Because that's a common thing. Well, our Latino brothers and First Nation to ask, well, you'll see us and be like, damn, we know y'all are, but how are you? That's why I brought up the archaeology. The archaeology supports you. You know what I mean? The artifacts, and you know what I mean? The Dawadas, a lot of that was found over here. That's why Columbus and Cortez and them boys had Hebrew interpreters. Like, you speak Spanish not because that's your native language. You speak Spanish because the conquistadors speak Spanish. The same reason why we speak English. Because the oppressor from England and Britain spoke English. You know what I mean? English. That ain't our natural language. It's not our tongue. We speak it because we're the slaves of this place, man. You're not a Spaniard. You're not a son of Cortez. Like, I'm not a son of Henry the fucking Eighth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Now, you had a lot of black kings that ruled Europe. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Europe was ruled, you know what I mean, by black men. King James was a black man. But the same way how like that woman that was queen, how she, you know what I mean, finally kicked the bucket. We not her children. The same way you're not Cortez's kids. Go ahead, Isupk.
Colonel Khan, it says Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Here's the thing. Ephraim is a cake not turned. I'm gonna get to your point, sis. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So because he mixed himself, now you'll see different shades. And first of all, it's about who your father is anyway. And if you go to Jeremiah 14 and verse 2, the scripture says that the Jews are black unto the ground. You break the ground, up. You see different derivatives and shades of black and brown. Keep going. Or is that it?
That was it.
A cake unturned, man. Man, don't be worrying about how light you are or whatever, or what your complexion is. If you black, Latino, or First Nation, you are the children of Israel. Also, too, you ever heard the phrase, all skin folk ain't kinfolk? It's also who your father is. Because Bob Marley is not an Israelite. His father is an oppressor, a white man, which makes him an Edomite. If your father is a so-called black or a Latino or a Native American Indian, then you are an Israelite. Now, to get to the point, right? saying you learn to speak the language of that land, you were not speaking Spanish before the conquistador. He came over with Hebrew interpreters because the so-called Mexican and Guatemalan and Native American Indian and Seminole Indian and Venezuelan and Argentinian, they were speaking Hebrew. Why did the Spaniards come over here with Hebrew interpreters? Because you spoke Hebrew. You know who beat the Hebrew out of you and put you in chains? The conquistador. And now you speak Spanish. Educate yourself. Imagine if someone broke in your home, unalived you, but spared your kids, locked your kids up in the basement. Now your kids spoke your language, but because you got unalived and the kids been living in the basement getting scraps from the person that unalived you and taught them and taught them his language. Now they don't speak your tongue no more. Now they speak, you know what I mean, the person that unalived you. And then they allow the kids to come up and live with them in the house. What did they do? That's what you would call learn the language of the oppressor, because you had no choice. But what was the language you spoke beforehand? Hebrew was that language. Not making up history. What's the name of that book, Gosh to Watch? Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, right? It's on Amazon. You know what I mean? Or you can go to your Barnes and Noble. It's called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. And you can also, it's countless books, like The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, you know what I mean, the 13th Tribe, you know what I mean, Rome Empire, the Edomite. There's plenty of books that you can go get. There's plenty of books you can go get. You see what you just made? How can you say I'm making up history and then you say anyone can make a book? You just cut yourself. So who's valid? Who's valid? Because obviously you're trying to discredit me and trying to discredit the Bible. But the problem is the same conquistadors that you're trying to defend, they know the truth. And that's why they also put it out there. That's the thing. That's the thing. Then there are no such thing as facts if everything is made up. You're cutting yourself. Just say you love the white man. Just say that. Just say that. And that's a damn shame. You know what I mean? That's a damn shame too, Watch the Watch. And that's also a problem that we have, because you have Uncle Toms, Uncle Tomases, and Uncle Tomahawks that love the oppressor more than they love their own. And that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. And the oppressor is going to pay for that. All you got to do is look it up. All you got to do. The records are right there. The history is right there. You're just dumb enough and ignorant enough because you don't want to hear it. You want to continue to be a happy slave. Don't be a happy slave. Go look up that. Go get those books, man. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. 13 Tribes. Rome Empire of the Edomite. Read this Bible, because our history is vast, man. Our history is vast. And let me explain something to you, man. Don't let nobody tell you that our history, that it just begins, you know what I mean, with slavery. Here's the thing. It doesn't. Our history is far beyond that. You know what I mean? We are a nation of kings and priests. Don't let nobody, you know what I mean, discredit you, Black, Latino, First Nation man and woman. That's why you can't celebrate this oppressor's holiday. You can't. You cannot. Yeah, all Israelites are not Black. First of all, the oppressor that calls himself a Jew is not a Jew. He calls himself Israeli. He doesn't call himself an Israelite. That should also be a point of interest too, Watch to Watch. Why doesn't the Jewish man call himself an Israelite? Why does he call himself an Israeli? Because he knows he's not an Israelite. He knows it. Because the Bible says the true children of Israel are Black, Latino, and Native American Indians. I pray you understand. Before you get the Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12, give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. Give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. Here's the thing. going to show you in the Bible that God said not to. Because I'm going to tell you something else that people do. They'll say, oh, it's a day of family. It's a day of feasting. Is God okay with that? God is not okay with this. I'm going to show it to you in the scriptures. I'm going to show it to you in the Bible. Show me in the Bible where the 6-pointed star shield of David is wicked. I'll wait. It's not a star, by the way. A star is a ball of gas. A ball, a circle, a ball of gas. This is David's name in Hebrew. If you don't know Hebrew, just say that. Just say it. I'm going to tell you what's wicked. I'm going to tell you what's of the devil. Thanksgiving is of the devil. That's right. Thanksgiving is of the devil and you celebrate it. I'm telling our people what God said, not to celebrate it. And I'm going to show and prove it to you in the Bible. I'm going to show and prove it in the Bible. Because we're the children of Israel, man. And our God's name is Yahweh. And he ain't the God of the oppressor. He's not the God of these heathens. Listen, man, Deuteronomy 6:4 says, Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Now, what I just spoke was the Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue, which translates to, our God is one God. And he ain't the God of everybody. Not, not the God of the oppressor, not the God of these heathens, but our God, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. Give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 21.
Book of Amos chapter 5 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
I hate.
The Lord said what?
I hate.
Stop. The Lord said, I hate. We're about to find out what God hates. Let's find out what God hates. Ooh-wee. Let's find out. Read.
I despise your feast days.
I despise your feast days. He said, I despise your feast days. What does that mean? When God said, I hate and I despise your feast days, what are your feast days? Thanksgiving is your feast day. Christmas is your feast day. Valentine's Day, the 4th of July, all of these different holidays of the oppressor, they're your feast days. God said, I what?
I hate. I despise your feast days.
I hate. I despise your feast days. Keep going.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. God
said, I'm not going to smell in your solemn assemblies. I'm not going to smell that turkey, that cranberry sauce. He for sure ain't smelling none of that ham. He said, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He said, I ain't going to do it. Before you go ahead, do you see the comments? They talking about I'm making up stuff. Somebody in the comments said you'd obviously never looked up in the matters of King Solomon before he came back to Christ. What they talk about? I don't know what he talked about because first of all, Christ was Solomon. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that, did you? Solomon couldn't come back to Christ because Solomon was Christ. Reincarnation is in the Bible, young man. Christ was here as Adam, Melchizedek, Isaac, Solomon, then Christ. He was Solomon before he was Christ. You see, y'all talk about us. Y'all just come on TikTok and just say anything and people listen. It didn't even make sense. I'm at least reading it to you out the Bible. I got my Bible opened up. We had book, chapter, verse. We had Amos 5 and 21. You coming over here talking about Solomon going back to Christ. How can that be? When they're the same. And Solomon was before Christ. I'm glad you asked. I'm a black man. You know what I mean? We're the same. You see on this side, you got a Judite. On that side, you have a North American Indian. You know what I mean? We're the same. Nosotros somos familia una raza. We are the same. Boy, just because you read the Bible don't make you a scholar. You damn sure not a scholar. You not. You ain't a scholar of nothing. Solomon is in the Old Testament. Christ is in the New. If you dumb, just say that. That's just, you know what I'm saying? I know how you gonna come up by live and talk about, oh, you don't know the Bible. And then you talk about Christ coming back to Solomon. He say something else. You know what to do to him. Give him the Thanos. Now, moving on, back to what I was reading. In Amos 5 and verse 21 and 22, God says, I despise your feast days, your Christmas, your Thanksgiving. That's what the Lord is saying. What's going on, brother? What's up, Ron? This is my man. It's my brother. Now, let's understand something. God is saying, I despise your feast days. And here's the thing, right? Let me ask y'all a question, TikTok. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. King James, King of Scotland, and king of all of Great Britain, was a black man. You can look that up. And if you need me to, we can pull up the pictures. Because the scriptures also say in Job 9 and 24 that the earth was given unto the hand of the wicked. He covered up the faces of the judges thereof. I'm going to give you another book that you can look up. Look up the Russian icons, or the icon, on how they showed how they whitewashed all of the black murals and paintings over there in the Vatican, over there in Europe, about how they cover up. I'm going to tell you why Pope Francis, or whatever his name is, he prays to a black Mary and Christ in the basement. Look that up. Look up your Pope that you love so much on his knees praying to a black Mary and black baby Christ. You know why he has to do that in the basement and why that's not on the forefront? Because they covered that shit up. They don't want us to know that Christ was a black man like me and you. They don't want us to know that the priests and prophets are black. They don't want us to know that our God is a black man in spirit. They don't want us to know that. And you can look these up. You can look these things up. You use your phone for everything else. You're going to get off my TikTok live and go pay for that girl's OnlyFans. You need to do something smart with your smartphone. You need to do something smart with your smartphone. And this is what I do for a living. I teach you. I teach you. Now look at that. That's your Pope praying to a black Mary and black Christ. Ain't that what that is? Watch the watch.
It's like what they said in that movie. They think we ignorant because we live out here.
They think we ignorant because we live out here. You can look this up yourself. Look up Pope. Look up your Pope praying to a black Mary and a black Christ. He do it.
Show one more time. Let's see.
This is crazy, Dr. Watts.
Listen. Don't listen and watch.
Don't listen.
A picture worth how many words?
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
They think we lying.
They think we be lying.
They think we ignorant.
They think we ignorant. I get it. No, don't get me wrong, TikTok. I get it. I really do get it. Y'all think we just some ignorant niggas that go out there in the corner and yell and scream. I know we look crazy. I know we look crazy. You can't tell me. Most of us is crazy. You know we go deny it. Listen, man, the scriptures say we'd be a fool. Paul said we'd be a fool for Christ's sake. God damn. I can show you that too, how Christ was reincarnated. I can give you a precept on that. I'm glad you asked. But I'm going to show y'all again. Because he said, show it. Look at your Pope. Look at this here. Praying to a black Mary and a black baby Jesus. God damn, I.S.U.P.K. Ain't that something? He quiet now. He's like, oh, shit. It is, listen. God damn. If you're wrong, just admit it. The scripture says to prove all things. They cover up the faces of the judges thereof. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's so crazy, right? What's so crazy about all of this. You can give him the Thanos snap. He just don't get it.
Which one is it?
You'll see. He just. You know what? Let him stick around for a little bit. I'm gonna cut him up a little bit. Now here's the thing, right? I'm gonna tell you why that matters. I'm going to tell you why that matters. You see how Pope Francis is in the basement praying to a black Mary and black Christ? If it didn't matter, why does he have to go in the basement and do that? If it didn't matter if Christ was black or white, why is it in the basement, Quatnazar? Like, God damn. Listen, they're not just in Poland. It's in Poland. It's in Rome. It's in Russia. It's all over Europe because niggas ruled all of Europe at one point, man. Look this up. Look up the Russian icons. Now, listen, I'm not going to disagree with it that it's in Poland. They got this. They got them all over Europe. And here's the thing, right? Okay. Yes. Yes. You want to know why I'm mad at the Pope? I'm mad at the Pope for the same reason I'm mad at Thanksgiving. You know, the Pope celebrates Thanksgiving. You know, him and the rest of the oppressors came together and converged on the New World. Did you know that? It wasn't just the Spanish. The Italians came over here too. All of them. You know, all of those boarding schools, all of them boarding schools that the North American and Seminole Indians went to, you can find any story on that, I.S.U.P.K. Guess what they were in those boarding schools? Catholic. I believe the term was unalive the Indian and save the man. A Catholic came up with that. The Pope came up with that. So even you in your ignorance, you prove the point. You prove the point. Look at this. Out of the Russian icons. Look at that. Now, you see the price tag on that? Over $2,500. Look at that right there. Who do they look like? Do they look Palestinian to you, I.S.U.P.K? No, they look like niggas. They look like me, you, and Ray, and Tyrell. That's what they look like. That's what they look like. Look at that. Look at this one. Look at that. Hold on, man. Pull that back up with the icons, man. Look at Moses. Look at that. Look at the beard. Look at the fro. Why do you think they had to cover that up? That was a good question. That was a damn good question. And here's the thing. He may be from Argentina, but he's not a native. It's a difference. You have the conquistador. You have the Italians that came over there, that unalived and abused a lot of women, that lived there. I'll give you an example about how he's Argentinian. He's saying, oh, the Pope is Argentinian. He's not a native Argentinian. He's not. He's an oppressor. Let me ask you this. Elon Musk, you can look this up, as an African American. Are me and Elon Musk the same people? Are me and Elon Musk brothers? Look it up. Look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is an African American. Brother, listen, Jay, no bullshit. I read an article that said Elon Musk is the first African American. I said, the first what? I said, what? No, you're right. He is. I ain't gonna say he a real African, because the real Africans, they Hamites. He's a white man, Elon Musk. He's an oppressor. But he's from South Africa. He has dual citizenship, which makes him an African American. God damn. Are me and Elon Musk the same people? America classifies me as an African American. They classify Elon Musk as African American. So we must be brothers, huh? No, you're right. There is a difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. You're right. That's the first smart thing you said on this live the entire night. I'm proud of you. I'll give you a small hand. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Elon Musk is an oppressor. He's an oppressor. And you're right. I'm above Elon Musk's level because I'm an Israelite and he's not. You're right. Elon's not on my level. I'm above the Wizard of Oz. And guess what, black man? You are too. You above him too. You above him too. Not just me. You above him as well. Don't be fooled by that money. That's a lot of y'all problem. Money make y'all fold. A lot of you would do anything for $40. Ooh, yee. I know. A lot of you for $40, they'd do anything. Some of y'all get on your hands and knees the night for it. God damn. Talk about, but he's a smart man because he has money. How do you say? Money that he inherited from his daddy and his daddy and his daddy's daddy off of the abuse and unaliving of Native American and Seminole Indians and Mexicans and niggas? Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. This is another one. Look at that. That look like David Ruffin. That nigga look like David Ruffin. And guess what? You can find this in Poland. You can find it in Russia. You can find it in Italy. You can find it all throughout Europe. You're going to find Black and Latino faces on those walls. Why do they cover them up? I don't listen. Why do you think they cover it up? I use Elon as an example to the poor. Well, be nice to the poor gentleman in the chat trying to say that we're the same. We're not. They classify Elon as an African American. They classify me as an African American. Neither one of us are African American. I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. He's an oppressor from Esau, from Edom. We're different. God loves me and hates him. That's in the Bible too. Now, go please, Isupk. I was waiting for it.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
I'm going to answer your question, brother. You got to be patient. I'm going to answer your question. I've answered it before. You want me to prove the reincarnation of Christ and how Christ was Adam, Melchizedek, and etc. I'm going to show it to you because it's all throughout the Bible. I didn't forget about you, my brother. I didn't forget about you. You just got to be patient with me. You just got to be patient. You know what, MJ? That's another damn good question. And I'm going to answer that too. I'm going to answer that after I answer my brother who's impatient about Christ being that. But let me get this first, then I'm going to go into that.
And this First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
Mm-hmm.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
To paint the likeness of what?
Of their images.
They opened up the book of the law, and the heathen did what?
It says, had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
They sought to paint the likeness of their images. They sought to paint the likeness of their image. That's why the Pope had to put up white faces. That's why the oppressors during the Renaissance, why they call it the Renaissance? The resurgence of white supremacy. That's why they had to paint over those Black and Latino faces, cover them up, put them in the basement somewhere in Russia, in Poland, in England, in Italy. They got to go in the basement for that. But out in the open, they got white faces. They opened up our book, saw it was Black and Latino, and said, we have to paint over this. That's in the Bible, young man. Go ahead, Ash.
I got another precept for context.
Mm-hmm.
This First Maccabees, and this is in the same chapter of the Bible.
Same chapter.
First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1. This is why they took this out of the Bible. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians, and the Medes.
Now, when it talks about Alexander, this is talking about who you call Alexander the Greek. It's the same man. They call him Alexander the Great. Wasn't great, nothing great about him. He was a Roman oppressor that circumnavigated the earth, oppressing and unaliving everybody. Keep going.
It says that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over where?
Greece.
Now, when Alexander was the first one to reign over Greece, he started to circumnavigate the earth, going around conquering and oppressing everybody. He took down Darius, who was the Persian. Darius today would be Iranian, because the Iranians are the Persians today. Took over from them. And you can find this in Daniel, the 7th chapter. And Daniel, the 7th chapter, right, 7 and 1 on down, it talks about the beast that Daniel saw. Now, the first, you know what I mean, was the lion with eagle's wings. That was talking about the Babylonian Empire. Then the bear, you know what I mean, the bear was representing the Persian Empire. The leopard, which Alexander the Greek wore around him, you know what I mean, the skin of a leopard, was talking about the Greeks. And then the iron one was talking about Rome. It's talking about those 4 major beasts that Daniel saw. And guess what? They broke off, you know what I mean, and the horns and whatever. And now you got America. Now you got Babylon, the great whore. That's America. Keep going, or was that it?
I mean, that was it for right there, but the first Maccabees 3:48.
They don't have to claim me because we don't claim them. We're the real thing. I'm a real Jew. They and you are not. Understand that. Salakia. Now, Ashtawa, for my brother who's impatient, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. He had a good question. He had a damn good question. He said, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 45. He's asking about the regeneration, you know what I mean, of Christ, to show how Christ was Adam and Melchizedek and etc. I'm gonna give you one on Christ being Adam. Now, give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. I'm gonna show you that, you know what I mean, briefly, that regeneration is in the Bible and how Christ was here before.
You said 15 and
1 Corinthians 15 and 45. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. And so it was written, the first man Adam was.
Now, the first man Adam, you know who Adam is. Adam was the man that the Lord brought into the truth. Adam wasn't the first man on the earth. If you read your Bible, you'll know that the Most High created humanity on the 6th day. He rose Adam up from the dust on the 7th day. Adam was the first man that the Lord was dealing with, that he gave laws to. The first man, Adam, was what?
It says was made a living soul.
The first man, Adam, was made a living soul, meaning Adam was given instruction. Adam was given the law, statutes, and commandments. Adam was given dominion over the earth. Keep going.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
The last Adam, wait a minute. Wait. The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The first Adam was given life. The last Adam. Who was the last Adam? Who's the last Adam? Give the oppressor a hand. He said, even the oppressor knows that this was Christ. God damn. Even the oppressor, he said, Jesus. That's who the last Adam was. Because Christ was Adam. The last Adam was what?
It said the last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. You know what a quickening spirit is? The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The first man, Adam, was given life. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit, meaning the last Adam, who was Jesus Christ, Yahweh Mashiach, can now save life. And how did Christ save life? By giving up his for the children of Israel, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Christ was Adam, young man. And guess what? It's in the New Testament. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. Shalom. You should, if you're black or Latino or Native American Indian, here's the thing. Why you should trust it? Because you don't trust nothing else. And you put your trust in everything else. You put your trust in America, that failed. Okay, you're Latino, you're an Israelite. You know what I mean? If your father is a Latino, you're an Israelite. Now, guess what? You should trust it because this is for our people. It wasn't given to everybody. We've been following everything else. We've been following Christianity. We've been following Catholicism. We've been following Islam. And it has failed our people. It failed. It failed us. You go to mass, you go to church on Sunday, you eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, you're celebrating Thanksgiving. You're celebrating Thanksgiving, and God said in Amos 5 and verse 21, I hate and I despise your feast days. How about trying what God said? That's all I ask you to do, brother. That's all I ask you to do, family. Just give it a try. Look us up, man, ISUPK.com. Find whatever school is in your zone, whatever city you in. Check us out. Just try it. Try being a righteous man for once. Try being a righteous woman. Because you know what it did for me? I used to be an evil man, TikTok. I tell you, I would listen. Oh, brother. I was an evil man 5 years ago. I was one of them brothers that you would consider that couldn't be rehabilitated. I don't get high no more. I ain't trying to unalive nobody no more. I'm not a whoremonger no more. That old man was unalive with Christ. when the scripture speaks about let the dead man be dead with Christ and let the new man rise, that's in the Israelite school of UPK. You got to come in here and become brand new. You can't be brand new in church. You can't be brand new in the mosque because they're doing what we said not to do. I'm about to explain to you the hypocrisy of Christianity in a few seconds. They'll tell you in the Christian church, God loves everybody, but they'll celebrate Thanksgiving. Does God not love the Native American Indian? Right. You're cut. You're a fool. If I'm going by your ideology in Christianity, you say God loves everybody in that church, but you're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. I thought God loved everybody. Why are you celebrating the unaliving of another people? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that if God loves everybody? You see the problem with Christianity? Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, you was bringing out the so heavy. Like somebody in the comments earlier, they go on what they see and think they understand how they say, oh, y'all are actually a hate group. But God hates, and we bring out what God hates in the Bible. But we change our life for real, like Christ told us to do. Like there's a lot of people that say they saved, they say they follow the Bible, say they love Jesus, and they got a plate in front of their face right now, not only celebrating this pagan feast day, but they're eating shrimp.
Give me Amos 5:21, and then give me Romans 9:13.
Come on, they eating shrimp, they eating ham right now, and all that. And then their problem with us is that we actually believe the Bible and read what's in the Bible. Can I read something real quick?
Before you do that, right?
You said Romans?
Read Romans 9:13. Because somebody said God doesn't hate. Are you sure about that?
You want to bet money on that?
My question is, are you sure? If I show you in the Bible,
you got money?
That God doesn't show, if I show you in the Bible that God indeed hates, will you apologize? Will you apologize? If I show it to you in the Bible, I'm asking. Now I'm gonna show it to you. You don't give me an answer. After I show it to you, guess what? Listen, he's right. Put Cash App on the line. Bet money. Bet money. You want to bet? We can bet on that one. I'll bet my rank on that. And I like where I'm at.
I got 100. Bet 100.
I got 100. Listen, bet $100.
Bet 100.
Listen, bet $100. I.S.U.P.K. Listen, my brother MJ said, put 200 on it. He said, I.S.U.P.K. show me. You show me that God doesn't hate, I'll give you $1,000. Listen, where the money at? Listen, Salak. But give me Romans 9:13, give me Amos 5:21, and give me an Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna show you 3 precepts that God can hate. The one where it says it's a time for war, a time for everything. Give me that. Give me Romans 9:13.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Have I what?
Hated.
Have I what?
Hated.
Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. That's Romans chapter 9 and verse 13, young man. That's Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, whereas hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Talking about you, oppressor. It's talking about you. Now, Romans 9 and 13 said, as it was written. That's in the New Testament. It was written in the book of Malachi. Verse 3. Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. And I hated Esau. Give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. Oh, excuse me. and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
So not only did he not like him, did he hate him? So like I say, not only did he hate
God
him,
hated the oppressors. God hated you so much that he didn't just hate you. He hated you and destroyed you and your land. We need that money, Quatazar. Collect that. We need that. We need that camp foot. Listen. God damn. God damn, Oscar. Wow.
He left the check.
He ain't leave that. He ain't leave the check. Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. Young man, don't you ever come on my live again talking this nonsense. You know I'm a priest, right? I know the Bible like the back of my hand. I just gave you 3-4 precepts that God can hate. He can. You can listen, Dr. Watt. God damn. You gotta pay up. MJ, he gotta pay up, brother. He gotta pay. He gotta run it. Listen. Yo, lock the door. Hey, yo, lock the door on him, man. Lock the door. Run his pockets. Run his pockets. Talk about God doesn't hate. Now give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 21.
Oh, if I could, it's another one before that in the same chapter when you read.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Amos 5 and 15. Hate the evil.
Hate what?
The evil.
Hate what?
The evil.
God said hate the evil.
What's the day?
Thanksgiving.
Guess what?
And that's evil. God said hate the evil.
And love the good.
And love the good. God said hate the evil and love the good. I'm going to tell you what's good. The Passover is good. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is good. The Sabbath is good. God said hate the evil and love the good.
And establish judgment in the gate.
And establish judgment in the gate. That's what we're doing. We hate the evil of Thanksgiving.
That's right.
That's why we teach against it. And we love the good. We love our God. We love our King. We love the children of Israel, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. We love our people, man. We love our people. Now drop down to verse 21, Amos 5 and 21.
I hate.
God said what?
I hate.
God said what?
I hate.
I hate. God said I hate. I didn't write this. Talk about God doesn't hate. God can do whatever he wants. God can do whatever he wants. Wait a minute. You said God is the greatest. I love him. You don't love God more than David did.
Right.
Who thee? David said in Psalms, I hate them that hate thee. Hate is in the Bible. Listen. Lord said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Listen, he ain't got to humble himself. It's okay. You see how you said David hated? Who is the I hate in Amos 5 and 21? That's God talking. God said, I hate, I despise your feast days. Listen, man, he ain't got to be humble because he's astounded. He didn't even know that was in the Bible. He had no idea this was even here. I'm going to give you another one that's going to break your heart. I'm going to give you one more that's going to hate your heart. And then you got to get up out of here because, you know, they want their money. I.S.U.P.K and Quatazar Karab, my brother MJ in the chat, they want their money. They ain't like me. I'm merciful. They coming for it. Them niggas used to rob stagecoaches. So I don't even know why you still here. You should be cash apping brothers right now. That's what you should be doing. Salakia. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, listen, Quatazar, he don't know. He don't know. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 6. It's the last one I'm going to read to you. Ecclesiastes 12 and 6 says, for the Most High hateth sinners. I said I was going to give him 3 or 4. You know, I had to give him. I had to give him one more. I had to give him one more.
That's about 10, 11.
That's about 10, 11. That's about 10, 11. I'm gonna read it again. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners. Wait, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Let me explain what this means. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're a sinner. And God said he will repay vengeance unto the ungodly and keepeth them against the mighty day of their judgment. Ooh, it's going to be a rough day on that day. A rough day. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their judgment. Ooh-wee. 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 God don't love everybody. I read that in Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. God said, Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. I read it also in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 2 through 3 and 5. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. In other words, run your pockets. Ain't about being broke. It's about being a man of your word. Go ahead, Ash.
Now, if I could, are we reading the Bible and taking it seriously, or are we hating it?
You know what he said? He said, then the verse you read is wrong or misinterpreted it. How can the verse be misinterpreted? How can the verse be misinterpreted? It says, for the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly. Amos chapter 5 and verse 21 said, I hate. The first thing God said was, I hate. How can you misinterpret that? Listen, I know most of y'all, most of you look at us like y'all just some crazy niggas on the corner do whatever, but you got to understand something. We know this Bible. And I read you book, chapter, verse. I gave you like 10 scriptures. Go ahead, Oscar.
Did you ask him if that's God?
Is this God oppressing? Is this God? Is that God? Hesh. Is this God right here? Is this God? I'm asking. Is this God? Is this your God? Is that him? Listen, I appreciate you telling me that I'm very passionate. But here's the thing. I am crazy. Brother, I'm in the U.P.K. Brother, I'm in the cult. I follow Christ. Everybody, listen, you in the Israelite school of U.P.K., you follow Christ. Did everybody follow Christ? No. 12 niggas follow Christ. And then one of them betrayed him. That's the rough joint, ain't it? Now everybody claim to love it. Now everybody claim to love God. Listen, here's the thing. I can tell that you are passionate about what you're saying. But God is not all love. God's love is very conditional. Go ahead, Ash.
You know, if I could, the reason why I asked was that it's God. Is because that's the problem right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is the problem.
The oppressor has stolen the Bible and painted himself in the image of God, and why he unallows everybody on the earth.
Get that precept. Get it for me in Wisdom of Solomon. And you can finish your point. I'm going to get it for you. Finish your point, Ash. Finish your point.
If I could, that he has painted himself as the image of God, and he's told everybody that God is all love. That when you unalive, you're going to go to heaven and you're going to see God, you're going to see Jesus. He's lying. The Bible is not the oppressor's book, man. You understand what I'm saying? He's telling you God love everybody. You know what? He's the worst sinner of all. You understand what I'm saying? He's the person, he's the person that God hates in the Bible. And he took his image and put it over the image of God and lied to the earth, which is why you think God don't hate.
Give Wisdom of Solomon 14 verse 15. Give Isupk a hand. What Isupk was saying is heavy, right? What Isupk just broke down to you, guess what? That's in the Bible.
You said Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 and verse 15. Brother Osh, what you saying is so heavy, y'all. This is even on the topic of the hypocrisy of Thanksgiving. I'm glad you brought that out. What you just said was heavy, and that's in the Bible, because that is his God. That's his God, whether he want to admit it or not.
Right.
And I'm gonna show it to you. Read the book of Wisdom of Solomon 14 and verse 15.
It says, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning.
A father afflicted with untimely mourning. The father afflicted with untimely mourning. The father that was mourning the loss of his son was a man, Pope Alexander VI of Rome, who was formerly Rodrigo Borgia. You know what I mean? Rodrigo Borgia. And his son was this bastard, Caesar Borgia. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, read.
When he hath made an image of his child, soon taken away.
Listen, he made his son into an image, soon taken away. When his son was unalive, guess what? And his son was an evil bastard. His son, you know what I mean, was an evil bastard. No. Answer your question. No. An evil bastard, man, who had relations with his own sister. You know what I mean? Abused her and lived an alternative lifestyle. Keep going.
Now honor him as a god.
They honor him now as a what?
As a god.
Now the Borgia, Alexander VI, formerly Rodrigo Borgia, Alexander VI of Rome, he honored his son Caesar Borgia, made him into the image and honored him as a god. Read.
Which was then a dead man.
Which was a dead man. Read.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Ceremonies and sacrifices. Ooh-wee. What was the ceremonies and sacrifices? I'll tell you. The ceremonies and sacrifices. The ceremonies, right, and the sacrifices was your Thanksgiving. Was them getting together, oppressing our people. Now they honored him as a god. And they have sacrifices and ceremonies for him. That's why when you go to that church, man, that church is a wicked, wicked place, man. A wicked place. And guess what? That's why we got to come out of that place. Verse 16 says, thus in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as law. It says, thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. What was that ungodly custom? What was the ungodly custom that grown strong and was kept as law? I'll tell you what that ungodly custom was. Shalom, warrior, Lord of Christ. I'll tell you what that ungodly custom was. Show Thanksgiving. It's your holidays, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. Read verse 16, Ashtawat.
Thus, in the process of time.
Thus, through the process of time, as time went on, as they honored him as a god. Keep going.
It says, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
An ungodly custom grown strong was kept as law. Do y'all not keep Thanksgiving to this day? Did you not come on my live and complain and make excuses for it? It's kept as a law today. Read.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
And graven images, false images, idolatry, worshipped by the commandments of kings. Ooh-wee. Now we get into the meat of it, Ashtawat. Now, because the oppressor says to celebrate Thanksgiving, you do it. He tells you to get together with your family on the second to last Thursday, you do it. And you keep it as a law. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, he tell you what God look like, and then he tell you God nature, and you believe it. So when somebody read it out the Bible, you deny that. What's in the actual words, you deny. It's, you know how many people say, "Oh, hate not in the Bible." We ask them, "Do you want to bet?" And then we show it to them.
We're not calling nobody out. But what I.S.U.P.K is saying is so heavy. We can show simpletons that hate is in the Bible, book, chapter, verse, and they'll say it's a misinterpretation. Right. When they just can't admit that they were wrong. Because admitting that you were wrong is something that men do. Right. Men admit when they're wrong and say, my bad, I was wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong because I'm a man. Not everybody's a man. Not everybody can stand on and say, hey, I was wrong, man, my bad. That's all it takes. I'm not going to look at you no different. I'm actually going to have more respect for you to admit you're wrong. If y'all can ever prove me to be a liar, listen, I admit I was wrong, but you're not going to, because I'm reading it out the Bible. I'm reading it out the Bible. It's not whatever I say. I said what God said. I said what God said. And I also said, I'm not trying to point nobody out. I mean, if the shoe fits you, then wear it. Wear it. Just say I was wrong. Just say, damn, I didn't know that. What's so hard about admitting, hey, I didn't know that hate was in the Bible? Why is it that God can be everything? God is omnipotent. God is this, God is that, but God can't hate? You mean to tell me God gave you free will, but he can't have free will himself? Let me tell you the lie. We don't have free will. Black, Latino, First Nation man and woman, we don't have free will. Our God said, keep the commandments and live or die. That's it. That's what he said. Keep the commandments and live or be unalive. That don't sound like free will. But God can do whatever the hell he wants. He can do whatever he wants. That's why he said openly, I despise your feast days. I hate of sinners and will wreak vengeance upon the ungodly. God said that. God said, I love Jacob. I love the children of Israel. And I hate Esau. That's what God said. I'm going to tell you what your problem is. And I'm going to read this, and you can give him the fan on snap, I.S.U.P.K. I grow tired of it. This is your problem. In Romans 9 and verse 13, it says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Verse 14 says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Is God unrighteous because he loves Jacob and hates Esau? I'm asking you a question. Is God unrighteous? Because he said, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Is God unrighteous because he hates Esau and loves Jacob? Reading on. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. God forbid. God is not unrighteous. God can do whatever the hell he wants. That's right. I pray you understand. I pray you understand. He can do whatever he wants. That's what we have to realize. The Most High can do whatever the hell he wants to do. And I'm going to explain even further why, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are a hypocrite. Because I read it earlier in Amos 5 and verse 21, where he said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. God ain't smelling that turkey that you're cooking, that ham. He ain't smelling that cranberry sauce or that mac and cheese. He ain't smelling none of that. Let me tell you else what God ain't doing. Listen, man. Listen. And we don't even do that. I'm going to tell you what you don't need to do. You need to stop with them girls OnlyFans. That's what you need to stop. I pray you understand. I don't even eat turkey. He talking about you don't need no more turkey. You need to stop with them girls OnlyFans. I'm going to tell you something else you need to stop. Guess what? You need to stop taking that OnlyFans $40 from your girl that she got from the other man and taking it out her purse. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Ain't that crazy, Devontae? That girl worked hard for that $40 that she get from that other man, and he taking it out of her purse. And he worried about turkey that I don't even eat. We ain't Christians, young man. And even the term black Hebrew Israelite is derogatory because I'm just a Hebrew Israelite. I'm just an Israelite. How do you know I'm an Israelite? The so-called Jew doesn't call himself an Israelite. They call themselves Israelis. Why don't they call themselves Israelites? Because they know they're not. The same reason why they don't call themselves Jews. They call themselves Jewish, meaning they're kind of. You're kind of not a Jew. We know this. We all know that. And the Mexicans are God's chosen people. Nosotros somos familia una raza. We one people. That's who we are. And here's the thing. Now, look how you sound. That's how he said. He said, you don't call an Italian a Roman. What would you call someone from Philadelphia? Now, traditionally, you'll say he's a Philadelphian. Or New Yorker, you'll say, yo, you're a New Yorker, or you're from New York. If you are, they claim to be God's chosen people, but they call themselves Israeli. They don't call themselves Israelites. I'm explaining to you why they call themselves Israelis, because actually you made a good point in your ignorance. They call themselves Israelis because they live in the land of Israel. They're not from the land of Israel. That might have went over your head. I'm going to slow it down for you. They live in Israel. Don't mean they're from there. That's why they call themselves Israelis. The Israelites are from there. That Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, we're the Israelites. They call themselves Israelis because they just live there. They're not Israelites. We never called ourselves, you know what I mean? We ain't call ourselves Israelis. No. We didn't do that. It's always been the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. I pray you understand. I pray you understand. And I'm going to tell you the big problem, young man Devontae. The problem is our people would rather be ignorant. You can't. If you are a Black, Latino, or Native American Indian, you can't be ignorant in today's time. Give me Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And I hold Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12.
You said Romans 13?
No. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 12. I'm going to have young man Devontae get Romans 13 and 11. You can give me Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. I'm going to go into it, man. Break down this Thanksgiving even further.
I still got that video you wanted to.
Oh, we're going to play that. We're going to play that. Don't get me wrong. We're going to play that. But let me get Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12.
The book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Start to cue up the video, as a matter of fact. That's perfect. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. America was built on the bloodshed of the Native American Indian, the Seminole Indian, man. It was built on their bloodshed. And God is saying destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. Keep going. Every Thursday and Monday. That's when I go live. I'm going to start to go live a little bit more, but every Thursday for sure from 7 p.m., you know what I mean, until I clip it. But keep going. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I may clip it a little early, but 7 p.m. is when I go live on Thursdays for sure. And on Mondays, it's I.S.U.P.K Philly. Follow that. And follow America on Fire on TikTok. But keep going, I.S.U.P.K.
And establish a city by iniquity.
And establish a city by iniquity. And establish a city by sin. Who did that? They established a city by sin. They love to call, you know what I mean, the Mexicans, you know what I mean, illegal aliens, calling them wetbacks, But you crossed an entire ocean because you wanted to avoid taxes. Let me say it again. You got the nerve to call somebody a wetback when you crossed an entire ocean to avoid
We could smell their burning, rotting flesh.
Yeah, just cue it and start it from the beginning. Make sure they can see it online too. Share it, all right? And I'm going to turn the phone for TikTok. Where the scripture says in Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 12. Read it again from the top, Ash. Yeah, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Read it again from the top.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. God is saying destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. How was Philadelphia built? How was Chicago built? How was New York built? On the bloodshed of the North and Seminole Indians, man. On the First Nation people, on the Mexicans. And that's the problem. God said destruction to him that buildeth a town with bloodshed and establish a city by iniquity. The Lord is going to destroy the oppressor for this, for what they have done to the First Nation man and woman, for what they have done to the Seminole Indian man and woman. And let me put it to you in layman's terms. Imagine if me, I.S.U.P.K, and young man Devontae got together on every September 11th and had a feast. Like every September 11th, we got together with our families, brought our family together, and we had chicken, turkey, you know what I mean, that salmon. We bring the lamb out, the collard greens, the mac and cheese, the whole spread. You would be like, these are the most evil men on the earth. They're celebrating 9/11. Could you imagine if we got together and celebrated the unaliving of what happened to the Jewish man by the Germans? Oh my goodness. Could you imagine a feast? Could you imagine, not saying we're going to do this, could you imagine if people got together and celebrated the Holocaust? My God, you would call them the most evil men and women on the planet. Could you imagine if people got together, we got together and celebrated, you know what I mean, what's going on and happening to the Palestinians and the Israelis? Could you imagine if we had a feast day for that? You see how you looking at me like, damn, that would be wrong? You're wrong for celebrating Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And let me show you a clip of how evil Thanksgiving actually is. They can see it online, right? Yeah, share it online so they can see it and play it. You got it on the HDMI or you
Oh, I'm casting.
Oh, you casting it? Just make sure they can see it online too, and it's gonna be not an issue casting it there. If you got to use the HDMI, it's too
I think it's straight.
It should be straight. Let me tell you how I know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are Black, Latino, or Native American Indian, you're a slave if you celebrate Thanksgiving.
Right.
You're a slave. Only slaves and the slave master celebrates Thanksgiving. Ask yourself a question. Which are you? Which are you? You're not the slave master because the slave master is the oppressor. The oppressor can celebrate it. If you Black or Latino or Native American, you cannot. Don't be upset because I start talking about having a feast on about the Holocaust and 9/11. We ain't actually going to do it. But we would be evil if we did so. Ooh-wee. Oh man, that'd be rough, I.S.U.P.K. If we got together and celebrated the unaliving of other people, ooh-wee, that'd be, man, guess what, I.S.U.P.K? You'd be angry as hell. You'd be like, these are some evil men. You're evil for celebrating Thanksgiving.
That's right.
I pray you understand. Go ahead, Oz, play. It's what?
I'm waiting for it. I guess it's queuing up.
Mm-hmm. It's queuing up. You might have to refresh it. Yeah, refresh it. We got a video we about to play of a Gadite brother. It's getting ready to explain how evil it is to celebrate it.
Of their sleep at night in 1637. Mass Bacon, the Pequot people were burned alive in the middle of their sleep at night in 1637. Mass Bay Colony, Plymouth Colony, Providence Plantation, Mystic Seaport, all English colonies banded together to burn women and children while they slept in a village at night. They barricaded the exit. They did not allow anyone to leave. They wanted them to burn. They were proud that they burned. This country was proud to write. We could smell their burning, rotting flesh for over a mile away. It's written, folks. Please read it on your own. I am not making this up. Stephen King can't make this up. He was so proud, the town of Norwich, Connecticut, had a statue honoring this man up until roughly a decade ago. John Mason, the man who murdered over 700 people. When anyone, the few people who were able to survive that Holocaust, they were rounded up. They were sold as slaves. Before they were sold, they were marched all the way from Connecticut to Mass Bay Colony, present-day Boston. They were placed on trial. They were declared to be sold as slaves. But before they sent them on that slave ship, they had to humiliate them some more. And they read a declaration that those people shall not ever, once again, even utter the word Pequot. They will know.
Now, let me tell you what's heavy about what that Gadite brother was saying, right? On what's real heavy. And guess what? You may not care now, but you will in the day of our King, because it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. And when it happens to you, guess what? I'm going to not care about what happens to you, all right? I'm not going to care. How you don't care? You're going to be crying in that day. That's going to be a rough one. It is fine. And I'm going to laugh my ass off on that day. For every oppressor, for every heathen that celebrates the pain and destruction of our people. Let me Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. Ashtaroth. Now, he brought up a good point, right? It ain't going to matter in that day. It's not. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter, why that's not going to matter. You saying that you got hammers. Whoop-de-doo. Your hammer ain't going to mean nothing in that day. And you wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight anyway. Y'all the types that see us out there in the street, and when you see us, you put your head down. Guys like you go to jail with your hammer still on you. I've seen your type before. The fact that you even said it, I got a hammer. You scared to death, and you should be. You terrified. That's why when you see us, you put your head down, because you know what's going to happen. You'll lose your hammer, and you'll lose something else that day. Read Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. Keep going.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. They led the Black, Latino, and First Nation man into captivity. Now, I'm going to tell you what's so heavy about that, Devontae. Slavery didn't just happen to the Black man and woman and Latino man and woman. It happened to the Native American Indian as well, as the brother was breaking down. It happened to us as well. It happened to the Gadites, the Shalom brother. It happened to the First Nation man and woman. It happened to us. He just broke that down. He said, we went into slavery too. In 1492, when the conquistador and Cortez and them boys came, guess what, man? They came over there and they put them on cargo slave ships first and took them over to Spain. He that leadeth into captivity, read, shall go into captivity. I'm glad that the oppressors are in the comment section saying they don't care. But you're not going to care when we come and put you in chains. When we go take your babies and ship them halfway across the earth. Right. We're going to take your babies, man, and send them over there wherever Ashtaroth is at. Ashtaroth, you in Brazil, you want you want Graham's son? You want Graham's daughter? You can have it. I'm gonna name him Reggie. I'm gonna name him Reggie. You know what I mean? You better not pull that Reginald shit. I pray you understand. You better not. You better not pull that. Talk about my name is Reginald. Stop that, Esau. I'm reading you Bible prophecy. God said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. We'll see you in captivity. I pray you understand. Do your workouts, do your push-ups now. It's going to get dark for you in that day. Shalom. That means peace, not for you. Now, keep reading.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Meaning you unalived us, you going to get unalived. You going to get unalived. They talk real big, bad, and tough, you know what I mean, in the comment section, Young Man Devontae. I see it all the time. Oh, I got my hammer. I stay ready. But when they see us at camp, they do this shit here. Same book. Listen, on TikTok, I got my hammer. I see you. I'm a kid. I'm gonna unalive you. You ain't gonna do nothing. We out in the corner every Friday and Saturday in broad daylight at the same time. And you walk by with your head down, can't wait to get home to get online and talk tough, and then go pay for that girl's OnlyFans, or take $40 from your girl who got that $40 from another man so you can pay for the other girl OnlyFans so you can support your weed addiction and talk shit on my live. It's crazy, ain't it? It's a rough situation. That's his life. It doesn't have to be yours. Doesn't have to. Anybody that spends that much time heckling and anger and resentment, he was bullied in school. I get it. He was bullied in school. He got a job that he don't like. His girl was sleeping with every man, getting $40 from somebody else. He got to pay for it. He has to take his anger and frustration out on my live. I'm here for you, brother. I'm always going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you. That's why you're still here. But you can't save the oppressor. He has to go into captivity. He has to go into captivity. He has to. I pray you understand. He has to. You can't save him. And listen, nobody that's living in a $400,000 house that makes all that money is watching a crazy nigga teach the Bible on TikTok. Like, the fuck, my nigga? Like, am I making something up, Isupk? Am I making something up? Like, nigga, if you lived in a $400,000 house and you had all this money and all the fuck in the WAP, guess what? You wouldn't be watching me. I pray you understand. And if you are, and let's say by the off chance you do have all that. You know why you are here? You're here for a reason. Because you low-key know something that the brothers in this room know, that the sisters know. Guess what? This is the truth. At the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under command of Gen.YAHANNA, is the home of the truth. It's the home of the truth. Doesn't matter what I see. You looking at me. God damn. I ain't on here bragging about what I got. I told you what I say, Devontae. Only, I'm trying to be nice.
You got it.
Feminine men brag about how big their hammers are. Feminine men try to overcompensate by boasting how much money they have. Feminine men feel validated by the illusion of the riches of this place. Feminine men do that. Grown men stand on business.
That's right.
And if business was a street, the Israelite School of I.S.U.P.K, we stand out there every day and stand out there in their corner and teach. While you put your head down, like you can't wait to get home and make up lies about a $400,000 house. I know you lied. Your house don't cost $400,000. It's really $1 million. You just trying to be nice. Your house is worth $1 million. I know. It's worth $1 million. Yeah, I mean, you got a Rolls Royce and a Corvette in the garage. I know. We got to really, that's why we got to take the chance to address mental illness in our communities. You know what I'm saying? We really have to. And trying to save the oppressor is a diabolical thing. Go ahead, Isupk.
I think that's Ham.
Ham and cheese?
I think that might be in.
What?
I think last time we said.
God damn.
He said he was ham.
He might be. He might. You know what? He might actually have 400,000. I'm tell you what. Because Ham be scamming the hell out of everybody, man. Like if he a Nigerian scammer, he probably got 20 billion in the bank right now. he probably got 20 billion. He probably got 20 billion in the motherfucking jail. I said, wow. You know, they be scamming everybody. I read a story about how half of their certification over there to be nurses and medical, doctors and nurses and medical assistants is fake. They know how to steal money. He might actually have that money. I'm just, it's a lie. He might actually have it. He might not listen. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Ash.
They was out here stealing cars. They out here shipping people cars. They stealing America. They shipping them now.
He the only one in the middle of the Congo with a Corvette in the jungle with Idi Amin. Can't find that hat, he the only one in the Congo with a fucking Corvette. Like crazy. But to get back to the point, Akim and Agwafian, right? Ashtawa, give me Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Because the cap for the oppressor is crazy. To come in here and try to justify Thanksgiving, to try to justify the mass genocide of God's chosen people, the Native American Indian and Seminole Indians, that has to stop. It has to stop. The oppressor is going to pay for what he has done to our people, and he cannot atone for it. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible, that he cannot repent for what he's done. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. And then we're going to get Bobbity. Young man, Devontae, give me Ezekiel 35 and 5. Go ahead, Ash. Ham got real quiet when I started bringing up them scams. He was like, oh, they on me.
It's like, I'm muted him.
Oh, good.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. My bad, Ash. I didn't know you was trying to join us again. I didn't even see it. Just mute yourself. Lest there be. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. Who's Esau? Esau is the oppressor. He's the greatest fornicator on the earth. He's the profane bastard that unalived 99 million Native American Indians and Seminole Indians, man. He's the one that did that. Keep going.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
For one morsel of meat sold his birthright. He sold his birthright. He would have inherited the blessing. But you know why he didn't? Read.
Come on. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Esau was rejected. He was rejected because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. He's an evil bastard. Look what he did to our people. Look what he did. We read what the Gadite brother was talking about, man. What they did to our brothers and sisters, man, the men, women, and babies. And then you want to get together and talk about free Palestine. You want to stand up for them. Who stands up for the Native American Indian? Who stands up for the Seminole Indian? Who stands up for the Mexican and Guatemalan, Puerto Rican and Cuban and Haitian and West Indian and Negro, man? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge does, man. Keep going.
For he found no place of repentance.
He found no place of what?
Repentance.
He found no place of repentance, meaning the oppressor cannot atone. He cannot repent from the evil that he did to us. Keep going.
Though he sought it carefully with tears.
Though he sought it carefully with tears. Though Esau is going to cry, he's going to cry and complain. Though he sought it carefully with tears. Read. Was that it?
I think that's it.
That's it. Listen, he can't atone, even though he's going to cry. He's going to complain. He can't atone for that. What I asked for in Ezekiel 35 and 5?
It's book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. They have had a continuous hatred against us, man. Their hatred for us never stops. It never ends. Keep going.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
And they have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Listen, man, how they shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword? When they came over here, man, our First Nation and Seminole Indian brothers and sisters were so accommodating. They should have put you in cages.
Right.
They should have trusted no pilgrim. But they did trust you. And God said to never trust thy enemies. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So as iron will rust eventually over time, so is the wickedness of the oppressor. The scriptures say that he has a fierce countenance, man, that would not regard the young or the old. He didn't regard the young or the old where it came to the children of Israel, the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Issachar, any of the 12 tribes. Keep going.
In the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity, had an end.
In the time of their calamity, when we were most vulnerable, man, in the time where our iniquity, the time where our sin had an end, there was a time when we were real vulnerable, man. A time where our sin was coming to an end, where our punishment was coming to an end. The oppressor was relentless in his pursuit of us and what he has done to our people. No mercy whatsoever. Keep reading, because God got something for him.
Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
The Lord said, I will prepare thee unto blood. And then the Lord has something in store for the oppressor. He said, I'm going to prepare thee unto blood. They are going to get unalive. The Lord is going to deal with them. Keep going.
And blood shall pursue thee.
And blood shall pursue thee. Keep reading.
Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Because thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. Because they ain't hate blood, guess what? Blood is going to pursue them. Meaning, guess what? Now they're going to be pursued by blood. Now the Lord is going to prepare something for them. Why the Lord said in Isaiah 14 and verse 21, prepare slaughter unto his children. Listen, man, the Lord's going to prepare slaughter for them. They have to pay. Now, if I could, let me get Romans 13 and 11. Romans 13 chapter and the 11th verse. Baba Kushaw. Go ahead, young man.
Book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11.
Oh, go ahead. Most High Christ. Hold Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Go ahead, brother.
And that knowing the time that now is the high time to awake out of sleep.
But now, knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. And not knowing the time, now is the time to awake out of sleep. Now is not the time to be caught up in Thanksgiving and Christmas. I was talking to this sister earlier, Devontae. She would tell me, oh, this is a deal breaker. You know what I mean? I have to celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm like, only slaves and the slave masters celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, God damn. Like, that's a rough situation, Ashtawa. I was like, so we got together and celebrated 9/11. You know what I mean? If that was a holiday, would you do it? Well, that's different. How so? How so? That knowing the time. Now is the time to awake out of sleep. Now is the time to get your mind out of this place and wake up. Everybody claims to be woke, but they not. Go ahead, Ash.
Good. And she's sitting there telling us, say this is a deal breaker, like you losing out. No, that's really should be a deal breaker for us. Like if we try to educate you on the matter, and you can see it that clearly that we shouldn't do that. Because imagine if we said that. Imagine if we talked to a woman and we or somebody who was like, no, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but every year for 9/11 we celebrate and we have a feast. You know what I'm saying? All the people that got alive. We gonna be automatically crazy and look at like we got 3 or 4 heads. Automatically.
I'm gonna tell you what's even crazier, right? Like I said that to her, like, so we got together on 9/11 and celebrated that. She was like, well, that's different. I'm like, how so? Because what happened to the Native American Indians was far worse than what happened to them. Far worse than what happened with any Holocaust. Shalom, sorry, that's for thug. Far worse. But you celebrate that. Like we said earlier, only the slave and the slave master celebrates Thanksgiving. Let me tell you something I don't understand too, right? Which is crazy. Like, in the with the purple fashionistas, they got a lot of Hamites in their organization. I don't know how they do that because we celebrate the Lord's Passover. Get out of hand. That's like, God damn. Could you imagine? And that was righteous. And that's righteous. The Lord delivered us up out of Egypt, man, because of Africans was oppressing our people. Like, listen, Captain Tazariak, right? Listen, man. Captain Tazariak was interviewed. They got on Captain Tazariak about this too with this little African boy. He asked, like, because he wouldn't feed the little African boy. Rightfully so. We don't feed heathens at our cookouts. You can't come to the I.S.U.P.K cookout. You can't come to no I.S.U.P.K event, period. You can't even come to class if you're a heathen. That's dead. You can forget about that. You try to sneak up in here, brothers like Officer Kazak Aimada escort you out. You don't want that. You don't want that. He's going to crawl out the crevice point of the slimiest gutter in D.C. and drag you away. You don't want me at Ashtawat. We're going to pop out of Southwest and West Philly, and it's over for you. They'll never see you again. It'd be a wrap. I'm just saying. That's what's going to happen. But here's the thing, right? Cap asked the little boy, he said, so if my people oppressed your people and did this and did that and oppressed you, would you let me come around you? He said, no. He said, I would hate you and your people.
Right.
And the quote Captain Zark, he said, he's an intelligent, Hamite. And he demonstrated how he's a free man.
That's right.
That's a mindset that our people don't understand. Unless you're in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. We understand that. That's why heathens can't come in here. You can't come to class. You can't come to the Passover. You can't come to no U.P.K event. It ain't going to happen. This is a holy place. Go ahead, Ash.
I could precept what you said.
Go ahead, Ash.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Are you? Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ, sir. Water, sir. Go ahead, Ash.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Like, you saw the brother earlier in the comments. He was like, but Turkey is good. I'm like, damn, brother, like, really? Half of y'all don't even eat turkey year round. You don't. You do it because the slave master says to do it. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Like, that's Stockholm syndrome at the highest level.
That's right.
Like, that's the level of, is we sick, master?
Right.
That's that level. That's that level. And then you put your own twist to it, talking about, oh, it's about family. You can get together with family any other day. I'm going to say it again. Half of y'all don't even like your family. You don't. You get together with the man that crawled in your bed, the brother or sister that owe you money, that left you, that did God knows what, whatever evil atrocity that you're going to come in here and get counseled by the Israelite School of U.P.K on, what you should get counsel for. Like, stop coming together in wickedness because the oppressor told you to, and come together in righteousness in here and solve the problems that plague our people. Because we solve them problems here in the I.S.U.P.K. But I can tell you how, while y'all was out. We solve all the issues that plague our people. We're on the forefront against everything. We're on the forefront against the drugs being in our community, the drugs being sold in our community, brothers and sisters unaliving each other, the oppressor unaliving us. We're at the forefront fighting, man, building Christ's kingdom. What are you doing besides this on TikTok? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself. Get in the fight, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman.
Right.
Stop observing it. Get in it. I pray you understand. I'm going to close out with one final precept. We'll get up out of here. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Say what you were going to say, actually. What?
No, I was going to say that we sick part is heavy. It's just like y'all wait to celebrate when the oppressor tell you to celebrate. Now you outside celebrating the 4th of July. You was in captivity. Now you celebrate Christmas. You see what I'm saying? You celebrate Christmas and tell your kids a fat Edomite gave you gifts when you've been working for it at that damn job, working 60, 80 hours a week.
All right, Black people, niggas celebrate the 4th of July and Juneteenth.
That's a slave, sir.
That's a slave. How you celebrate? That's heavy, ain't it? You celebrating the 4th of July and Juneteenth. Do I have to break that down for you? You celebrating, yeah, we was free on Juneteenth, but then you still bringing the grill out on July 4th. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? We got to come out of that slave mentality. And the only way to do that is by coming into I.S.U.P.K, the Commander Gen.YAHANNA. Let me tell you something, man. We are the greatest people on God's earth, man. I'm going to show it to you in the Bible. Read what I got. Read what I asked for, Bible for sure.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
God said, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Holy meaning separate, set apart. We are a separate people unto the Lord thy God. Read.
It said, the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. The Lord chose blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to be a special people unto himself. Not the oppressor, not the African, not the Asians, not the East Indians, not the Arabs, not the Palestinians, not the so-called Jew, but blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to be a special people. Read.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord chose us to be above all people that are upon the face of the earth. We are above everybody, black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. And knowing that we above Thanksgiving. We above Christmas. We above these fake holidays of the oppressor. What we got to do is understand that that fellow black, Latino, and First Nation man is special. That Native American Indian man is special unto God. That Seminole Indian man and woman is special unto God. That Latino man and woman is special unto God. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. And we are above all people. Because our God wants us to come out of this world, man. Our King wants us to come out of this world. And the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge wants us to come out of this world and come back into this truth, man, and change our lives. Let that old man die with Christ and become a new man. Come into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. With that being said, I am priest and officer of 5,000 Yediah. This is the Thursday night history class. You can join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. We going live, rocking it out on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You know what I mean? Like and subscribe. Tune in to Commander Gen.YAHANNA every Monday. You know what I mean? America on Fire, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Man, listen, we down there in Houston. The Akim and the Akwafian are down there converging, taking ground on Houston, Texas, man. In Houston, Texas, man. Come down there. If you're in the Houston area, come to the I.S.U.P.K. Join us, man. With that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to priest and officer Isupk. Any announcements, Ash?